Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode from GuigLit. First of all, thank you so much for all the subscriptions and all of the interactions you've been giving to the channel. It's been really well received and it means the world to me. Christmas Carol today. This is dedicated to my Year 10 class who have an upcoming test on this, so I promised to have a go through this and how to master the exam on the EDUQAS exam board. So as always, give this video a thumbs up. Make sure to share this video with everybody you know, and tap the bell icon for more books, beards, and beyond. We're also on 3 separate social media accounts now, including TikTok. Yes, I've actually gone there, and please give all of those a like and all the love in the world. That'd be the most amazing thing to me. Thank you very much. So, without further ado, what can we do with today's video? Well, first of all, take notes as always, okay? It's meant to be designed as a study aid and to help you progress through your GCSE examinations in particular. Pause the video, test yourself. There will be opportunities to practice the question that is presented today, so make sure you use that as well. And repeat. Keep watching through the video, keep checking back through it on a regular basis as you head towards your examinations. So today, the basics of A Christmas Carol on the EDUQAS exam board are the following. It is a 45-minute examination comprised of 40 marks. With that, there is one question. There's only one question on A Christmas Carol that you will receive, and you'll see an example of one today. The question asks and tests your knowledge of an extract plus your wider text knowledge. You do not get the novella in the actual exam, so really be careful there with your knowledge of the wider text as well. So, the best responses I've ever seen, what do they include, what do they have, and what can you do to emulate them and progress yourself? First of all, they use what I call a tackle introduction. I'll explain more about that in the following slides, so you will see what exactly a tackle introduction is. They track through the extract and the text. They make sure they go through it with a fine-tooth comb. You know, they have the key quotes from the top to the bottom of both extract and text. As well as that, they use phrases like at the start of the extract or text, towards the end of the extract / text. So it's really clear at each and every point where they're going and what they are doing with it. They also explore a range of quotes, roughly 6 to 8 words long, and sometimes you'll pick out 1 or 2 that I say you dig or evaluate, to use the more professional terminology. And on top of that, they refer to context in a very brief sense, so the Victorian era or the writer's attitudes and values. Generally, a response on this is going to be about 1.5 sides written. I would say that will be a good quality response, between 1.5 sides to 2. Remember, you only have 45 minutes, so it would be too much to expect more than that. So, here's a practice question. This was from the 2017 examination. Now notice, the question it asks, write about how Dickens presents the ghosts. How are they important to the novel as a whole? You should, in your response, refer to the extract and the novel as a whole. It really makes an important point of that. You cannot achieve a pass without doing both. Show your understanding of the characters and events in the novel, and refer to the context. So, what I'm about to do is show you the points that I've highlighted and will use in a response. I go from the very top. You've got a key point there that I'll make more of in a second. And I've got a couple more here about how he felt the chilling influence of his deaf cold eyes, but he was still incredulous and fought against his senses. We see that Scrooge is still not entirely buying into the perspective or the presence of Marley, and we see how this changes later on. He asks him to sit down, looking doubtfully at him, another wonderful quote you can pick out to show Scrooge's skepticism on the character. And then moving down, we have another couple here where he makes a joke. The more gravy than grave about you is a really good one. But we see this final aspect where the spectre's voice disturbed the very marrow in his bones. Truthfully here, you've probably got more than enough to tackle this examination question in itself. And I would really encourage students to make sure you've got top, the middle, and the bottom of the extract. Really cover the entire extract itself. Now, on top of this, I've not only just produced a series of annotations, I've also provided a plan. Now, my plan goes through it in chronological order. So I go stage 2, Ghost of Christmas Past, and how the ghost is constantly changing, but it's fixed. It demonstrates how Scrooge, our protagonist, can't change the past. I've also then produced a little bit on Stay 3, the idea of the ghost of Christmas present, a symbol of love and community, but also a warning to Scrooge of Tiny Tim's perilous fate, and Stay 4, misery and fear. Now, what is a tackle introduction? Well, a tackle introduction is a wonderful way of starting a response on any literature paper, particularly Christmas Carol. Tackle refers to title, author, context, and link. An introduction should contain all four of these. Now, in the introduction you see here, it does have all four of them. However, try pausing the video at this point and seeing if you can see where you can find those four separate points. They don't have to go in that order necessarily, and truthfully, mine doesn't. And you'll see in just a second where I've applied them. Take a moment just to have a look and pause that video here, see if you can find them. And I've applied them in the following places. So, Charles Dickens, coming back to the author rather, presents the different ghosts in his novella. So I'm linking back to the question, A Christmas Carol, I've used the title. In myriad, that means many different ways, for they serve multiple purposes. With the author personally fascinated by the afterlife and the supernatural, so we've got that idea of background and context. Dickens uses the ghosts to teach, show and warn the protagonist, Ebenezer Scrooge, on his journey to redemption. So you see here how I've used the title, the author, the context and the link to help shape and really get my essay off on the right foot. You know, it's on a perfect, well-shaped response, very direct, very clear and methodical. So, the main answer. You see here I've brought up the extract plan again, and I'm just going to show you just the one paragraph at this point and how I've formed that paragraph. And it's really a case of repeating this process as you continue through your examination piece. So here is my paragraph in its entirety, my first paragraph, and I use a number of different points, and I'm going to put the most important parts in bold in this box. So for example, I start by tracking. I say at the start of the extract, and I use Dickens' name. I use just Dickens at this point because I've already said Charles Dickens. You don't have to use the entire name every single time. General rule is full name the first time, surname the rest. From here, I then mention the reader, and I say the reader can infer. That means to work out. They can work out this particular point when it's mentioned how. Notice how I embed the quote. At GCSE, you really want to sort of break apart from this can be shown in the quote. You know, try not to use that too much. It's quite literal and quite cliched and overdone. The reader can infer this when it's mentioned how he, Scrooge, had never believed until now. Notice I've broken down the quote and kind of manipulated it to suit my purposes. So I've used an ellipsis there, 3 dots. Had never believed until now that his former business partner had no bowels. So I've broken down this quote, but I've also rejigged the order in which it appears. So it's kind of more beneficial to my essay, and that's a really effective way of continuing your piece. Now, I mentioned here how Dickens applies a play on words between bowels as a metaphor for guts and courage, alongside Marley's current ghostly appearance. So I picked out just that word bowels. See how I've gone from the quote and deeper in to make a deeper exploration and evaluation. I then make a slight evaluative point at the end, demonstrating how it reinforces to the reader Scrooge's early lack of belief in the sight of Marley. And then I go as the extract or text continues. So we see this paragraph has tracking at the beginning, it has a quote that is broken down and really discussed. It mentions the reader and it mentions Dickens and the overall focus of the question. That if that were to be continued, we would be onto a top response. Just keeping that method going, keeping that precise way of analysing going. So, thank you as always once again for tuning in. Really appreciate it by myself. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe and follow all the different platforms for GuigLit. And until next time, have a very wonderful day, all the very best, and bye bye.